Halo, perkenalkan nama saya Maria Dewi Rosari, SPD MPD. Saya adalah dosen bahasa Inggris di Universitas Internasional Jakarta atau dikenal juga dengan Jakarta International University atau JIU. Kampus saya berada di wilayah LLDikti 4 atau lebih tepatnya di Kabupaten Bekasi, Provinsi Jawa Barat. Saya telah bergabung dengan JIU sejak tahun 2021 di program studi Sastra Inggris. Dengan latar belakang pendidikan saya di pendidikan bahasa Inggris, fokus bidang keahlian saya meliputi Second Language Acquisition, English Phonetics and Phonology, dan English Language Skills. Pada kesempatan kali ini, saya ingin menyampaikan PDD UKT-PT saya di bidang pengajaran pada mata kuliah English Phonetics and Phonology. Mata kuliah English Phonetics and Phonology ini memiliki bobot 3 SKS dan merupakan mata kuliah wajib program studi. Mata kuliah ini wajib diambil di semester kedua oleh mahasiswa sastra Inggris. Mata kuliah ini juga memiliki prasyarat yaitu mata kuliah English Pronunciation Practice yang wajib diambil di semester 1. Mata kuliah English Phonetics and Phonology ini dirancang untuk membekali para mahasiswa dengan teori-teori linguistik di bidang fonetik dan fonologi secara komprehensif dan juga mendorong para mahasiswa untuk mengaplikasikan teori fonetik dan fonologi dalam bahasa Inggris untuk melihat dan menganalisis fenomena pengucapan bahasa Inggris oleh orang-orang Indonesia di sekitar mereka. Secara lebih jelas dan lebih detail, berikut course description dari mata kuliah English Phonetics and Phonology. In this course, students will explore the anatomy and function of speech organs, learn to identify and transcribe phonemes and allophones, and understand the pronunciation of English vowels and consonants in American English. The course also covers syllable structure and addresses common pronunciation challenges faced by Indonesian speakers. This course is conducted using a flipped classroom method where students will complete weekly worksheet to prepare for engaging in-depth class discussion and activities. Ultimately, students will apply their knowledge by investigating how Indonesians produce English pronunciation, identifying common mispronunciations, and developing research ideas. The course culminates in a group project where students collaborate to propose a research proposal in the area of phonetics and phonology, allowing them to synthesize their learning and explore real-world applications. Jadi, setelah mereka melalui 12 pertemuan atau 12 minggu belajar berbagai macam teori fonetik dan fonologi dalam bahasa Inggris di kelas, mereka akan diminta menggunakan teori-teori tersebut dalam pengamatan atau investigasi permasalahan ataupun fenomena-fenomena fonetik dan fonologi di sekitar mereka. Para mahasiswa akan diminta untuk mengamati misalkan kesalahan pengucapan atau tantangan-tantangan pengucapan dalam bahasa Inggris yang dialami oleh orang-orang Indonesia di sekitar mereka. Hasil akhir dari mata kuliah ini adalah para mahasiswa secara berkelompok akan diminta menyusun sebuah proposal riset sederhana sebagai wujud aplikasi teori-teori yang telah mereka pelajari dan juga bagaimana cara mereka menganalisis permasalahan-permasalahan tersebut menggunakan teori-teori fonetik fonologi yang mereka pilih. Metode pembelajaran yang digunakan dalam mata kuliah English Phonetics and Phonology ini utamanya adalah flipped classroom, di mana para mahasiswa diminta untuk menyelesaikan dan melengkapi worksheet mingguan yang sudah saya siapkan, di mana di dalam worksheet ini terdapat soal-soal dan permasalahan yang mereka harus selesaikan dan lengkapi sebelum pertemuan dengan topik tersebut diselenggarakan. Selain itu, metode pembelajaran yang digunakan dalam mata kuliah ini juga berupa ceramah, diskusi, student-centered learning, di mana para mahasiswa saling belajar satu sama lain melalui kegiatan presentasi di dalam kelas yang dilaksanakan secara berkelompok, dan juga project-based learning, di mana para mahasiswa secara berkelompok juga menyusun proposal riset di pertemuan ke-13 di mata kuliah English Phonetics and Phonology ini. Sementara itu, sistem pembelajaran dari mata kuliah English Phonetics and Phonology ini adalah satu, secara asinkronus melalui tugas mingguan atau melalui weekly worksheet dan juga penugasan mandiri lainnya. Selain itu, ada juga sinkronus yang dilaksanakan secara 100% tatap muka. Mata kuliah English Phonetics and Phonology ini diselenggarakan dalam 16 pertemuan atau 16 minggu, dengan pertemuan ke-8 digunakan untuk ujian tengah semester dan pertemuan ke-16 untuk ujian akhir semester. Selain dua agenda tersebut, saya juga menyisipkan satu agenda penting lainnya bernama checkpoint. Checkpoint ini diselenggarakan selama 3 kali dalam satu semester, yaitu di pertemuan keempat, di mana kegiatan belajar mengajarnya saya tampilkan dalam video micro teaching di video ini. Lalu checkpoint yang kedua ada di pertemuan ke-7 dan checkpoint yang ketiga ada di pertemuan ke-11. Agenda checkpoint ini sebenarnya didasarkan pada hasil evaluasi pembelajaran mata kuliah English Phonetic and Phonology di semester sebelumnya, di mana saya menemukan banyak mahasiswa yang memiliki gap pemahaman antara target pemahaman materi dan juga apa yang mereka sudah kuasai. Maka dari itu, saya menyisipkan satu agenda tambahan, yaitu checkpoint, yang mana sebenarnya kegiatan ini adalah kegiatan review materi-materi sebelumnya yang sudah dipelajari oleh para mahasiswa. Proses review ini tentu menjadi sangat penting karena pemahaman mahasiswa di materi-materi yang baru yang akan mereka pelajari sangat erat kaitannya dengan pemahaman mereka di materi-materi sebelumnya. CPMK pada mata kuliah English Phonetics and Phonology ini ada 7, yaitu yang pertama, students are able to explain the underlying difference and scope between phonetics and phonology, as well as identify different symbols in IPA or International Phonetics Alphabet. Yang kedua, students are able to describe speech organ used in speech production and explain how each speech organ is involved in different types of sounds. Number 3, students are able to explain what phoneme is and assign correct symbols to phonemes and the allophones. Number 4, students are able to elaborate how English vowels, both short and long vowels, are pronounced in American English version with correct vowel qualities. Number 5, students are able to explain how English consonants are produced, transcribed in phonetic transcription, and differ from one type of consonant to the other. Number 6, students are able to internalize all topics learned in English Phonetic and Phonology course, thus use them to investigate any problematic pronunciations that are commonly experienced by Indonesians around them. Lastly, number 7, students are able to explain what a syllable is, how a syllable is formed, and identify different syllables correctly. Assessment dalam mata kuliah English Phonetics and Phonology ini dilaksanakan dengan mengacu pada pembobotan sebagai berikut. Attendance atau kehadiran sebanyak 10%, quiz dalam beberapa pelaksanaan menyumbang 20% dari total nilai akhir, lalu assignment and group presentation sebanyak 20%, di mana 20% ini terdiri dari rata-rata nilai worksheet yang mereka lengkapi dan kerjakan selama satu semester, dan juga presentasi-presentasi yang mereka laksanakan dalam satu semester. Selanjutnya, midterm exam atau UTS sebanyak 25%, dan terakhir final exam atau UAS sebanyak 25%. Dalam PDD UKT-PT bidang pengajaran kali ini, saya akan menampilkan video micro teaching saya atau kegiatan belajar mengajar dalam mata kuliah English Phonetics and Phonology di pertemuan yang keempat. Dan di pertemuan keempat ini diharapkan mahasiswa mampu yang pertama menunjukkan perbedaan antara scope phonetics dan phonology dalam bahasa Inggris, macam-macam speech organ yang dimiliki oleh manusia dan yang digunakan dalam proses pengucapan bahasa. Yang ketiga, cara memproduksi berbagai macam vowel dalam bahasa Inggris, baik vowel yang pendek maupun yang panjang atau short and long vowels, termasuk vowel qualities dan vowel descriptions-nya. Dan yang terakhir, menjelaskan peran bagian-bagian lidah manusia dalam proses produksi suara dalam bahasa Inggris. Pembelajaran di pertemuan keempat ini terbagi menjadi 3 bagian, yaitu pendahuluan, penyajian materi, dan penutup. Di kegiatan pendahuluan, kegiatan pembelajaran akan dibuka dengan proses checkpoint, di mana mahasiswa akan mereview kembali materi-materi di pertemuan 1 sampai dengan 3, dan juga materi-materi yang telah tercover di mata kuliah prasyarat English Pronunciation Practice di semester sebelumnya, di mana proses review ini menjadi dasar yang penting untuk pemahaman materi pertemuan keempat dan juga seterusnya. Setelah itu, kegiatan pembelajaran berlanjut pada kegiatan penyampaian materi pada pertemuan yang keempat, mengenai vowel qualities and vowel descriptions dari short and long vowels in English, dan juga pembahasan soal-soal di weekly worksheet 4 yang telah para mahasiswa kerjakan sebelum pertemuan keempat ini berlangsung. Terakhir, di sesi penutup, kegiatan pembelajaran akan diakhiri dengan penarikan kesimpulan dan pemberian tugas yang harus dikerjakan secara mandiri oleh para mahasiswa. Sekarang, mari kita lihat proses pembelajaran di mata kuliah English Phonetics and Phonology di pertemuan keempat ini. Selamat menyaksikan!
Okay, so good morning.
Good morning.
How is everyone today after the very long weekend? Yeah, where did you go? How did you spend your very long weekend? Just dormitory?
Yes.
You didn't manage to, explore Cikarang or Jakarta or no?
Or assignment didn't let us. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So we will have a phonetic phonology class, and like I said, we will have a quick review on what we have learned so far from meeting 1, 2, 3, and after that a bit of what we are having actually in meeting 4. But since the time is limited, so we cannot cover all. But I still provide you with the full, the full material for meeting 4 in the G drive. The G drive, although I'm gone, but it is still there forever. So you can still access it, including the worksheet and also the the book material. Okay. So after this review, we are having a new material about vowel. About the vowel qualities and vowel descriptions. Okay, so before we start, what do you still remember about the materials in meeting 1, 2, 3? Tell me something. Do you still remember what we learned in meeting 1? Oops.
Yes.
What did we learn? A quick review on this one. Okay. So I've got the blue boxes and the brown boxes. The blue boxes, let's see. It belongs to descriptive linguistics, studies the production, transmission, reception of sound, and does not study one particular language. That's blue boxes, okay? And now the brown boxes. It belongs to theoretical linguistics, okay? The keyword is very strong there. And then it studies different patterns of sounds in different languages and can study one specific language, okay? Which one is phonetic, which one is phonology?
The blue one is phonetic.
Blue one phonetic,
Yes.
brown one phonology?
Yes.
What do you think so?
Yes. Yes.
Which keywords tell you which one is phonetic and which one is phonology?
Does not study.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. This is one thing about phonetics and this one about phonology. Okay, let's reveal. Okay, phonetics and phonology. So this is, like it said, a handy dandy chart to elaborate further. A very, brief summary what makes them different. Okay. Next one, phoneme and allophone. What do you still remember about this? 1 or 2 people come to the front and write down the phoneme and the allophone. Any phoneme and any allophone. Anything. We said that it is the variant of phoneme, so what is the variant of the phoneme that you selected? Anyone else? Okay. Do you agree with Anjali?
Yes.
What is this variant? What is this variant? With this very small H letter there. What is this?
Aspiration.
So this is the aspiration. The aspiration. Okay, but can we have only this one? Can we have it? Yes. Okay. Can you tell me the difference with the difference of the sound between this and this? Can we do it? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Can you feel something different coming out from your mouth?
Yes.
What is it?
The palm of the hand.
Okay. So what is the example of? Resemble this one. Then it usually appears in the initial position, in the very first position of word. Then the aspiration comes. But when it's in the second position, there is another sound in here. What is? Do we have this one? I don't know. Do we have? For example, this is an English word. Then and this one will be just like this. because the puff of air is reduced by the previous sound. Now I want more students to come in front and write down as many phonemes as you can, except the ones written down there in my PPT. Okay. Okay. Okay, next the speech organs. How many speech organs can you touch with your tongue?
Alveolars.
So many.
12.
The ones that we can touch with our tongue.
Yeah.
Tongue itself is a speech organ. What else?
Teeth.
Starting from the ones that we can see from outside.
Lips.
Upper lip, lower lip. Even though it's just lip, it has two. It consists of two. Upper and lower. No more say bottom. So when I check your final test for the Introduction to Language Literature, some of you mentioned bottom lips. No, we don't have bottom lips. Lower lips. Upper, lower. What else? Teeth itself consists of two. Upper teeth, lower teeth, and then alveolar ridge. Moving back, we see which one? Hard or soft? Hard first. Why is it hard? Why is it called hard? Because it is hard. Hard palate. And moving back again, we see soft palate or what is another name? Okay, let's see this picture. Okay, alveolar ridge. Now, can you feel your alveolar ridge with your tongue?
Yeah.
Yes. How does it feel?
Good.
It's got some texture. Yes. So any sounds that involves alveolar ridge is alveolar sounds. You will learn it later in consonant sounds. And then upper lips. Any sounds that use lips called labial. And then lower lips, it's not that clear, but yeah, lower, upper. Okay. We have teeth, upper and lower actually. Okay, so this is the pipe. There is a pipe there. And if we can really go inside, when you see your male friends and female friends, we have different length of the pipe. And the man has longer larynx than women. Okay, so that's about the phonetic phonology differences and speech organ, the ones we've learned in meeting 1, 2, 3. I want you to make the sounds of this one. Please make the sound of this vowel, okay? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's like this word. It should be very wide. Again, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now can you identify the position, the shape of your lips?
The lips still in the upper.
Now compare with this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's go with the first one. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. What's the difference? Which sounds makes our mouth more closed? Which one? Which sounds makes our mouth more open? Okay, just remember that. Up to the next sound. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Short. Oh, yes. Ooh. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, how about ooh? Compare it with what's the difference? E. The position of the lips. Okay, now let's talk about the lips first then. The lips, which one is wider? How about E?
More close.
Less wider. How about U? What is it called? What is it called?
We saw our mouths.
What is this? What is the shape of this?
Oval.
Yeah, again. Synonym. Ada. Something with R. Yes.
Round.
Round.
Oh yeah.
Why do we talk about the position of lips and then tongue? Alright, the shape, the position, which part of the tongue is raised. Remember that the tongue is the most active speech organ. Since it is the most active, all parts of the tongue has names. The tip, front, back, root. And when every different part of the tongue is raised, we create different vowel, we create different sound. From the position of lips and also the tongue, we can differentiate vowels and also make the different qualities of the sound. And this one, we need to know in what ways vowels differ from each other, and that's why we deal with lips and tongue. And then the first matter to consider is the shape and position of the tongue, and after that we need to deal with the lips. It is usual to simplify the very complex possibilities by describing just two things. Okay, I want you to feel it. The first one, the vertical difference between the upper surface and the tongue and the palate. Okay. Upper surface of the tongue. Can you identify which one it is? Your tongue? Which one is the upper surface?
Yeah.
That's the upper surface. Now, the palate. Palate. So the roof. So it's like I cannot draw. Okay. Okay. I will just use this to. Okay, this one. Okay. This is the mouth. So this is the upper surface of your tongue. Okay. And this is the palate. The palate, the roof. So this is this is the tongue, the palate, right? The hard palate, soft palate. That's the roof of our mouth. So the vertical difference means the vertical distance between this and this. The vertical difference. When you just raise your tongue just if the vertical difference is just like this, or like this, or like this, or like that, you will create different vowel qualities. You will create different vowel sounds. So that's why tongue is very crucial in speech production. So take a look at this one. The part of the tongue which is raised the highest. So when you raise the tip the highest, it will be sound S. For example, if you raise the blade, sound Y. If you raise the front, it will sound Z. If you raise the back, it will another sound. Now for E and A, which part of the tongue is raised highest? Can you identify? E and A. Which one requires the back part of our tongue raised the highest?
E.
And is it front or back part of the tongue is raised?
Back.
How about E?
The tip.
The back and the
Is it tip? E?
No.
If it is not tip, then it's blade.
The front is.
Okay, so E is front, A is back. Okay, now save it. The difference between this vowel is a difference of tongue height. Ketinggian dari lidah ya. And we will describe E as a relatively closed vowel and A as a relatively open vowel, just like what you said. When you say E, more closed, A, more open. So that's why we call E closed vowel, because our mouth is more closed, and A as open vowel because our mouth is more open. So the tongue height, ketinggian dari lidah, can be adjusted, can be changed by moving the tongue up or down, or moving the lower jaw up or down. So open or close is like this. So, e, 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 oh, open, e, or close. So that's closed vowel and open vowel. So that's quite easy to analyze because we can use our logic. We've got two. Is it open or closed? Closed. And which part of the tongue is raised? Front. Okay. We've got two. Close and front. Now, and. Open or close? Open. Now let's see.
Back.
The back.
Yeah.
So when we make the sound of eh, without we realize it, without we being able to see our tongue, we actually raise the back of the tongue the highest. Means that when this is the tongue, the back part is very high compared to the other one. Why it is need to raise? Because we need to create the sound of eh. Back vowel. Close front, open back. Now this one. Let me see someone else's voice. Not that. The black sentence.
If you made the vowel in the vowel calm, which we write phonetically as you can see that the back of the tongue is raised.
Okay, now say calm. 1, 2, 3. Calm. Can you feel the back of the tongue is raised? Calm.
Yeah.
It's even more raised than eh, actually. Calm.
Calm.
Compare this with a in front of the mirror. A is front vowel and is back vowel. So previously a is back, but when it's compared to it becomes more front actually. It's still back, but the position of the tongue more back if it is an adjective. So this is the back. So calm is way more back, more behind than the a. But when those two are compared, it becomes front vowel and this one becomes back vowel. Although actually both vowels are. Okay, so we actually have discussed some questions in this worksheet meeting 4, and the rest will be your own independent learning. You can access it from the G Drive in meeting 4, so you can see the worksheet, also the book chapter that you can use to answer all these questions. There are only 7 questions, and I think we have discussed 1 to 3, so almost half of it. And the last will be for you. And I hope that you find phonetics and phonology useful for your English development in the future. Okay?
Amen.
Thank you and good morning.
Thank you.